plexiglass, flies, and a very, very much more calmer debate. Join us as we do our quick take to the VP debate. Hey guys, it's Ashton and Andy, and we're just doing a quick little video to give you guys our thoughts on this VP debate. Andy, we can just start off with who we think won, and I, for one, vote for the fly. Who is your winner for this debate?
Now, we have not talked about this. I know we texted each other during the debate, and it's gonna be a controversial pick, but I actually think Mike Pence won this debate. I will. I think that Kamala Harris tried a lot of times to get kind of daggers into Mike Pence, but she didn't go far enough with some of the things she did. She sort of talked about the taxes. You had some of the things about the condemning of white supremacy, but it feels like every time she tried to put a dagger in Pence, he kind of had this kind of shield or would dodge the attack and move it to something else in his favor. I think Pence did a much better job than Donald Trump did at subverting the tactics of knowing who he was debating and how to, attack her specifically. And I'm not saying they both look good. I think they both look kind of bad because none of them really wanted to answer any of the questions that the moderator had. They kept, saying, "Oh, let me go back to this," or "Let me answer it this way." Didn't, get to the points. But to me, if I had to say, if I'm undecided and I had to pick someone based on the VP debate, which let's be honest isn't going to happen much, I think my Pence just had a just slight edge on Harris tonight. Ashton, what about you?
Besides the fly, which is just bad luck for the VP, um, in general, I would say it was a really tie. They both had good moments, but the rest of it was kind of like them dancing around questions they didn't want to answer and get to their just buzz points or their talking points or their one-liners. I mean, there were a lot of one-liners that Pence said that I knew they were drawn up as one-liners, but they weren't really good. And same thing with Harris. Even though she didn't try it as much, I felt like she got very lectury, and she had a problem with that in the primary debates. Overall, I do think it's a real tie. I felt like people came into this having a lot of high hopes for Harris. She didn't live up to those. But Pence wasn't as good as he was in 2016. People don't remember. He was really good in that 2016 debate against Kane. But Harris drew some blood sometimes, and you saw he got very uncomfortable. Especially like when she brought up the taxes, someone tweeted that it looked like the Eye of Sauron face towards him in that moment. So yeah, he also had pink eye too, so a lot of the physical aspects of Pence had like with the fly and pink eye that it's bad luck. But that stuff does matter. There's a reason why in the Nixon versus JFK debates that one group said Nixon won and the other group said JFK won, and it was the radio listeners that thought Nixon won, but the people who watched television said JFK won because Nixon looked like he was sweaty and he was having a hard time. So this is similar in the sense that image matters. Pence's team, you can't help a fly landing on his head and just sitting there for like, because for the few, like first few minutes, I was like, is there like a speck of dirt? And then I noticed it was a fly. I was like, oh my gosh, oh man, that's bad luck for him. And then the pink eye too, I started noticing it, but I didn't think it was a thing. And then I went on Twitter and people took closer pictures. And when he turned to look, you can um see something like that. And that's also 30% of COVID patients have pink eye on the onset. So it's definitely something interesting. It's interesting that no one answered the questions and that Pence kept on interrupting the moderator, and that was very irritating, at least until the second half, late into the second half, when Harris basically got tired of it and was like, I'm gonna go ahead and talk because she's letting this guy do it all the time too.
Yeah. 100%. Like if I had to do one thing other than the fly incident, which no one can control that, Pence just did not want to listen. There's times like I texted you that basically it felt like he was telling her, "Shut up, I'm gonna do this anyways," or it was like he was like, "I'm gonna just gonna get 5 more minutes" or something like that. It was just like it's what you see from the Trump campaign. They don't listen to the rules that their campaign sets up or whatever the moderators always say as their excuse or their validation. But Harris kind of tried to follow the rules at the beginning, but kind of couldn't because of Pence starting off the way he did. But it wasn't like I told you, kind of Trump Jr. esque. It's not as bad as Trump was, but still, you could tell he was not as respectable as for the time of Harris. If I had to give my letter grades like we did for the presidential debate for this debate, I probably would give both candidates. I would probably give Pence like a C, maybe, and Harris like a C minus. Like both were just average, not too much separating, but Pence just gets a leg up on me.
If I gotta give grades, I would give them both a B minus. I thought they both had their strong points and their weak points. Neither of them, like Pence is basically mayonnaise. He's all right, and then Harris is like a cold burrito. A cold burrito. She's not bad, but you can tell she needs a little bit more prep in her than what she got. Um, in general, this debate doesn't mean anything, guys. It really doesn't. The VP candidates don't mean anything unless something happens to the president. So, ultimately, those are our thoughts, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. Put your comments down below on what you thought of the VP debate. I'm pretty sure most of our audience is going to agree with my winner that it was the fly.
Yes, Ashton. The Fly is definitely the next vice president of the United States. But the next debate is going to be interesting. It's the presidential town hall debate. Those are always fun to see how, when you have a live audience, now it's going to be kind of a social distant COVID audience, but still, it's going to be fun. I think that's always my favorite debates because it's less, 1v1, where it's less talking over and more directly to the American people. That's always going to be fun. Come back to that one. We're going to react to that one. This Friday is our week 2 of Presidential SmackDown. So please, if you haven't watched that week 1, go check that out. JFK versus Lincoln. Very fun series. We hope you can check that one out. Stay safe, guys. Wear your mask, and we'll see you guys in the next video.